What up, what up, what up, what up, ladies and gentlemen? What up? It is your boy David from Top Bunk Sports, and I am here with another Knicks on Top post game. Knicks versus Heat, as the New York Knicks take on a big W in the Garden, 132 to 125 against the Miami Heat, and it is a beautiful win at that. I mean, in the first quarter, it kind of looked like they were struggling. They looked like they really couldn't find their rhythm. They were trying to the issue with that first quarter was just defense. They couldn't get any stops. And it seemed like every time the New York Knicks kept scoring a basketball, they just couldn't get any stops. And the Heat just kept scoring on them in almost after every possession. And that was the problem. I mean, you could just tell in that first quarter they were confused. Everything was sloppy. They didn't know what they were doing. So you like the fact that in the second quarter they were able to pick up the rhythm and kind of get to it. But before I get to the rest of the game, guys, I just want to apologize for not having a video out there again on Friday when we played the 76ers. I know we lost to the 76ers. Apologies for not having that video out there. I was with family, so I didn't really catch most of the game. I did have the game on TV, but because of the fact that I was with family and doing so much, I really wasn't paying attention. So it would be wrong of me to have a video of a game that I barely watched. You see on my Twitter feed and on my Instagram feed and on TikTok, if you guys follow me on those social media platforms. By the way, make sure you guys do. You guys see that I didn't have any content on that game. So with me being back on my free time, I had a bunch of videos put out there that I gave credit to. Make sure you guys continue to follow those accounts that I give credit to, where I get the videos. I obviously want to get them myself and just post it on my end, but because I really don't know how they get those, I just got to basically get those from their accounts and give them their credit. But, like I said, now that I'm back on it, we're good. I just wanted to give an explanation as to why I didn't give it to you guys on that one. But let's get straight to the box score. Again, let's also talk about the runs real quick, because I think it is important that we talk about that. I mean, we talked about the Miami Heat going on a run in the first quarter and really trying to break down the Knicks defensively, which they did. They went on a 12-2 run with 7 minutes and 37 seconds, up to 5 minutes and 31 seconds. And then the Knicks went on a 27-9 run, which is very important, with 4 minutes and 51 seconds in the second quarter. 4 minutes and 51 seconds of the 9 and 28 seconds of the to the third quarter, right? So they basically took over that second half of the third quarter going into of the second quarter, That's where they turned it up, and they went into the third quarter, continuing that run. And then obviously Miami Heat kind of found the groove in the fourth quarter, where they went into a 12-3 run in the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. But that was kind of all she wrote. And I think in that 12-3 run was where the Knicks, after Josh Hart kind of made that long arcing three, right, where he had to basically just chuck it up because the shot clock was about to expire. After that, they scored 117 off that three, but then that was it after that. So, again, the Heat battled out all the way through. I mean, let's look at the Heat stats first, except for a moment, before we get into the Knicks, the next box score, because I think it's really important. Again, they were able to kind of find their groove in the first quarter, but then after the first quarter, going into the half of the second quarter, the Knicks kind of found their way. Before I get into the Miami Heat stat, I want to give a credit, and I know this is all Knicks, but I do want to give a credit to this kid because he gave the Knicks problems tonight. Khalil Ware went off today. I mean, let's look at his stat sheet. 22 points. He was 7-17 from the field. He was 4-8 from three. And he was almost perfect from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 3 steals. He was a +3 in point differential. And I think that's very telling for this kid, because this kid, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of upside on this kid, right? being a 7-footer, being able to handle the basketball the way that he does, being able to shoot with confidence, I think it's very, very good for Miami Heat. I think this is why they put so much around this kid. I mean, obviously Norman Powell is their star player next to Andrew Wiggins, but at the same time, you trust that this kid can elevate his game almost every day throughout the season. So, I just want to give him credit because although I do not like the Miami Heat, I think he gave the Knicks problems. And if it wasn't for his 3-point shot, besides Norman Powell, excuse me, I read the stat wrong. I just want to excuse me for saying the stat wrong. That was Norman Powell's stat. Khalil Ware's stats: 28 points, 11 for 15 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3, almost perfect from the free throw line, 1 of 2, 19 rebounds, 1 turnover, 1 steal. He was a -6 in point differential. So although he was a -6, not a +3, his stat sheet was better than Norman Powell. So excuse me for that mistake. I made that mistake on the fly. Excuse me. I got confused right there. As you read it, you kind of, my eyes were a little bit confused on that one. So my apologies on that one. But let's go back to their team stats real quick. I just want to get to it real quick. So here we go. Again, paying attention to just Miami because how they fought the Knicks. They gave the Knicks problems. Again, we talk about the game leaders today in points. For Miami, it was Khalil Ware with 28, Brunson with 47, a Brunson barrage tonight. That was the first time in MSG that he had scored 45 points, to say the least. He ended up scoring 47, like I said. In rebounds, game leaders was Josh Hart with 10 rebounds. He had 9 defensive rebounds and only 1 offensive rebound. Khalil Ware with 13 defensive rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds, making it a total of 19. And then assist leaders was Jalen Brunson with 8 and Davion Mitchell with 3, and he had 3 turnovers, while Jalen Brunson only had no turnovers. So again, back-to-back games where Jalen Brunson has back-to-back has 0 turnovers, excuse me, and just being perfect. Again, this is what we count on Jalen Brunson the most: being able to be a point guard that not only can read the floor very well, can be aggressive when he needs to, can be a fearless leader, but at the same time take care of the basketball. If the head of the snake, if the leader of the pack is not taking care of the basketball, there's no way that your team is going to trust you and get comfortable. Now, obviously, you're going to have other teammates that can score and that could be, aggressive and can go ahead and really do what they got to do. But at the same time, if the guy that is not putting your players and your teammates in positions to score and really, feed off the game, sometimes it doesn't work like that. So again, Jalen Brunson taking care of business, doing whatever he needed to do to go out there and really put his team to win. You really love it. Shout out to ESPN, who also put up this photo, which is the graphic that you see here. So I want to give them their shout out and their credit. Again, let's go into the stat sheet right here. Team stats. You had 47% from Miami Heat. There were 41 to 87. You had the Knicks 55% from the field, 47 to 85. 3-point percentage, they were 49, 17 to 35. Knicks were 53, 20 and 38. So a really good stat sheet. I think this right here, along with them matching Miami defensively, and I'm actually going to put that up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I usually do it. I don't know why I didn't do it here, but I'm going to put that up right here. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see the stats that I'm talking about. But if you look right here where it says team stats on your left side, 20 of 38, this is where I actually think that the Knicks took off. And if I share this screen of where I put my post-game post on X, make sure you guys follow me. I'm going to show you guys right here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I think this was the key to the Knicks winning this game today. If you look at my post game, I basically said I put the stats from the field and from the 3-point percentage. 55% from the field, like I said, 20 of 38 from the field, 53% from 3. I said from the second quarter, the Knicks matched the Heat's energy defensively and kept the consistency on offense going, which one of them this game tonight, which won them this game tonight, was behind Brunson's huge game. So excuse me on that one. I gotta edit that. It's not one. Excuse me on that one. But I feel like them matching their energy defensively, the Heat's energy defensively from that ending of the from towards the end of the second quarter up until the rest of the second half, got them in position to win this game. Also, like I said, I also think Jalen Brunson just going off. The Heat had no answer for this guy. Being, like I said, being able to take care of the basketball, being able to do what he does as a floor general, I think puts him in position to win almost every game that they could possibly win. But then again, you go into the box score, and like I said, I will share this to show it again. Free throw percentage 74%, while the Knicks were good today, 86%. They were 18 and 21. The Knicks had 13 turnovers to Miami's 11 turnovers. So again, I think in that first half, a little bit of the second half, the Knicks could have played this game where they kind of could have limited the turnovers just a little bit. But you like the fact that the turnovers are not that high compared to previous games where they had maybe 17, 18, 19, or 20 turnovers, and they would find themselves in some serious business. And they, again, you got to credit that to them being able to take care of the basketball relentlessly, being able to move the basketball, being able to just score relentlessly when they need to score. Fast pace at all times. And again, being able to get major stops, something they could not get in the first quarter. And that was the issue. They could not get any stops in the first quarter. And they find themselves in a lockjam. But again, being able to adjust, I'm sure Mike Brown was getting in their heads like, listen, if we don't match the energy defensively, we're not winning this game. We could score all we want. Okay, they're not missing a lot of shots. And that's the thing. Sometimes, defensively, you may not have it that night. But maybe if that other team is not really scoring aggressively and they're not scoring consistently, and you're having a game offensively, you can win a game like that, right? But while the Knicks were scoring the basketball, they weren't getting stops. And then the Heat were making almost every basket that they could make in every offensive possession that they had when the Knicks couldn't get stops. So that right there was probably something that Mike Brown probably told him, like, listen, we're gonna win this game. We can win this game right now if you guys step it up defensively. And that's what you guys saw in that second quarter. They were getting stops and moved into the third quarter. They upped the tempo. They were passing the ball more. Guys were making aggressive shots. And like I said, being able to get those stops and rolling it into the offensive side, where now it's like, all right, now I got my guys running down the court. Nobody's jogging. The only one that I would say kind of pissed me off tonight was Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns was lost. Karl-Anthony Towns was complaining. Karl-Anthony Towns was fouling left and right. Again, there should be no excuse for anybody that likes Karl-Anthony Towns. Yes, he was a little bit aggressive in the fourth quarter defensively and got maybe like one or two stops. But it was a horrible game for Karl-Anthony Towns. A horrible game. This is the second time, and I saw this earlier right before the game finished. This is the second time in his career that he's had less than 6 points. The last time he's had less than 6 points was in November of 2017. And you know what? I'm actually gonna look at his box score just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let me see. Okay, so let's look at his box score. Okay, 2 points. Yep. He had 2 points today. He was horrible. He was 29 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 0 from three. Didn't even attempt the three. He was 0 of 2. Only got to the line. Only got to the line once. Was 0 of 2. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals, 1 offensive rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds. He was a -1 in point differential. Again, you never want to be a minus in point differential, but not a good game for Karl-Anthony Towns as your best player on the team. Well, your second best player on the team, and he's giving you that type of production tonight. Unacceptable. Obviously, he's had great games so far, but you never want to see that from Karl-Anthony Towns. You want him to be better. You want him to be more consistent. So yeah, a horrible game from Karl-Anthony Towns tonight. But like I said, we'll go back to the box score before I get we'll go back to the team stats before I get to the rest of the box score. Yeah, really nothing much. Again, you had the largest lead today was 11 for the Knicks, 10 for the Miami Heat, and again they were up 10 points in that first quarter. Again, right where they could have really put the dagger on the Knicks for this game, but the Knicks kept fighting. The Knicks kept finding themselves in great position to go ahead and really take care of business and didn't really stop, right? They made adjustments on the fly, and that's what you need from a team like that. So let's get into the box score real quick. Like I said, OG Anunoby, I think was very, very good. I actually want to show you guys a post that I posted when it came to after the third quarter. After the third quarter, OG Anunoby, who really, 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 really turned it up in that third quarter. So if you see it right here, okay, so OG Anunoby in the first half, 0 points. OG Anunoby in the third quarter, 12 points, 2 assists, 5 of 9 from the field, 3 blocks. OG Anunoby, again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish with him. OG Anunoby found his group, found his momentum, and you like to see that. Again, I know people were kind of wondering why he really wasn't getting the ball like that. You know, Jalen Brunson found his groove early, and OG Anunoby, again, when he moves off ball, he gets into rhythm. When he gets into his momentum, he starts knocking down corner threes. He starts getting blocks defensively, like you see there. OG Anunoby it's just whenever he can get into rhythm, whenever he can find consistency, and that's what you like to see from OG Anunoby, and that's what you like to see from his teammates that trust him enough to really put the ball in the basket, put the ball on the floor, go get a bucket. OG Anunoby at one point, he instead of relying on a corner three, found a wide open guy in the paint, and settled for a two right there after they were moving the ball. And OG, again, just being able to trust his players, but being able to not be selfish with the basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's key for OG Anunoby. Again, it's not the way you start, it's the way you finish. And the fact that he was able to involve himself and create something in the important half of the game where you were only up 3-4 points going into the third quarter, right? So you wanted to be able to go into that second half with a better momentum and capitalize on the momentum that you created the last 5 minutes of that second quarter. And then, like I said, capitalize and go into that third quarter with a huge momentum, and that's what they did. Again, Josh Hart, 13 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5 from three. He didn't go to the line today. 10 rebounds, 5 assists. He was a +4 in point differential. Josh Hart being able to do things off the ball, right? Off ball screens, being able to cut, and then when he gets the ball, being able to push the tempo, right? That's something that Josh Hart has always done since being traded to the Knicks back in 2023. Being able to push the ball and do this. This is something that Mike Brown likes. And remember, he didn't start the season on the starting lineup, right? It was Mitchell Robinson. But obviously, Mitchell Robinson was still having trouble. Was still on time on time management, on a minutes restriction, right? Because he was coming back from injury. They didn't, they wanted to make sure he was good, right? Josh Hart comes into the starting lineup, and the Knicks have a winning record with Josh Hart in the starting lineup. So Mike Brown is like, yo, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Josh Hart going in there, right? Getting his key rebounds, pushing the tempo, shooting the ball with confidence. You saw he put the Knicks on the board. He put the Knicks on the board at one point with a corner three. He shot another three. Starting off the third quarter, he shot a three. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to trust his shot and not having to hesitate. That was something that when he first came to the Knicks, that was like the only negative that you could say about Josh Hart, was that he was hesitating at times, and you were like, yo, what is this guy doing? Little by little, his confidence started to build up within his shot making. So you like that. You like to see that from Josh Hart, a veteran that you never want to see have to go through that. Again, I mentioned Mikal Bridges already, Jalen Brunson. Doing what the captain does, man. You gotta love it. When he finds his rhythm, taking care of business, being able to just let the game come to him. The fucking Heat had no answer for him. And when you have no, and listen, if a defender can't stop me, if a team as a whole can't stop me, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get whatever I want. So Jalen Brunson did what he needed to do, breaking down his defender, playing off 2 feet, being able to shoot the ball at a consistent rate, let the ball go quick, right? Not waiting for his defender to set, right? Just again, quick pace, doing that up and down. You like to see that. Jordan Clarkson off the bench, 10 points, 4 or 5 from the field, 2 or 3 from 3. He was a -2 in point differential, but again, gave the Knicks some valuable minutes. Mitchell Robinson in the last 2 games has made 10 consecutive free throws. Mitchell Robinson, ladies and gentlemen, is back within his free throws. Listen, this is something that the Knicks fans have been waiting for. This is something that the Knicks fans have been clamoring when it came to Mitchell Robinson. Consistent free throw shooting and consistent free throw making. I'm so proud of Mitch. I'm so happy for Mitch. There's actually a post that I want to show you guys within New York Basketball posted. This was actually mentioned in the game by Mike Brown while the game was going. They actually put the camera on our two assistant coaches that credited um uh that credited them on working with Mitchell Robinson on his free throws. I want to actually, if I can find that for you guys, I really, really, really want. Okay, here we go. Bam! I want to play you guys this because I think this is very, very important. So here we go. I just had it. Excuse me, guys. I just had it. I just had it. No, I just had it. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. I just had it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't kill me. Here we go. Bounce.
Bunk shoots his last time
and hits it again. The Knicks shooting coach, Peter Patton, has really been working. There's Peter. And Mitchell Robinson saying what a great job Pete has done. And also Mark Bryant, the Knicks assistant coach, who's always working. Mark Bryant, a longtime NBA player. They've been doing a lot of work with Mitchell Robinson, and they've done an excellent job with him. The different things, his release used to be behind his head. Now it's more in front. There's more of an arc. He's keeping his elbow under the ball, and he's got 9 consecutive free throws made.
So there you go. There you go. Shout out to Peter Patton and Mark Bryant for really, 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 really working. Again, these guys are brand new under the Mike Brown system. Shout out to them for really, really working with Mitchell Robinson on his free throws. This is something that Mitchell Robinson has really struggled with, being able to change the shot consistently and not finding a consistent shot to make his free throws. It seems like it's paying off. I mean, Joe Mazzulla thought that he was smart to do the hack-a-Mitch in the playoffs and get this brother to the free throw line. And at some point, he was making them. He was making them, man. He was definitely making them in the playoffs. It wasn't all of them. It wasn't consistent, but there were moments where he was making them, and he would get a really loud ovation, I should say, from the crowd. Now it looks like he's getting into rhythm. He's really working on it. And he knows, listen, I'm a big man. I'm going to be under the paint. I'm going to get a lot of lobs. I'm going to get a lot of offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. They're going to try to, even when I get those offensive rebounds, they're going to try to steal it from my hand. They're going to foul me. I'm going to go to the line if I put myself in that position. And again, if you can have Mitchell Robinson doing all those things plus making his free throws, it is such a big win for the New York Knicks. Mitchell Robinson, who has been put in a lot of trade conversations over the years that he's been a New York Knick, especially the last 3 to 4 years, Mitchell Robinson can be a big piece if he is not moved within the trade deadline this year when it comes to the Knicks trying to win a championship this year because of what he done. He's very, 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 very helpful on both sides of the basketball when he's getting rebounds, but he's getting blocks, right? When he's playing pressure, when he's holding pressure inside that paint, when he's getting offensive rebounds, when he's getting lobs from Jalen Brunson or Jordan Clarkson or Josh Hart, like when he's creating things off the basketball, again, in the pick and roll, you saw he set a pick and roll. He set a pick for Jalen Brunson at the top of the key, rolled off that pick, and Jalen Brunson rewarded him with a lob, which connected. He got 2 lobs tonight. Again, Mitchell Robinson doing a lot of things offensively, but defensively as well, where he's just his game is affecting the Knicks in a positive way. It makes you wonder, like, why do the Knicks want to trade him? And again, understanding that, he's hurt a lot. There are times where he is a liability defensively, especially when he's guarding the perimeter. But with guys with this system that he's under, he hasn't really had to guard the perimeter that much. He's always been in his natural spot. Also, Mike Brown putting him in a limit rotation shows that he's not playing a lot of minutes out there, and it doesn't put a wear and tear on him, right? So now he's able to go in there a little bit more healthy. There's not a lot of pressure on him. You can utilize Mitch with different minutes now. Like I'm so happy for him. Mitch, I've seen this kid from the moment that we drafted him to now, what he's been able to do. He's such a big presence on this team. And for him to finally knock down free throws, I know people are like, yo, it's just free throws. But you got to understand, man, you're big. So free throws are really important to your game just as much as any other player on this team. So for him to finally get through that hurdle a little bit, it feels great, especially consistency, right? That's the main thing, consistency when it comes to that. You just hope that from now on, we see more of it as the season goes on. But yeah, man, listen, huge win today for the New York Knicks. They get their 20th win of the year. The Knicks, like I said, beat the Miami Heat 132 to 125. They are second in the East behind the Detroit Pistons. To being able to take games one by one and being able to take care of business, that is what you need. Again, 20 wins on the season already. The New York Knicks are locked in. Of course, they've been a little bit sluggish to start games, coming with the different, coming out of that NBA Cup win, and obviously with the schedule kind of getting back into things, getting back into the regular season, you want them to find the consistency, which it seems like they're finding. Their next game is against Minnesota in Minnesota, so that should be a tough game considering that Minnesota is playing really well. We beat Minnesota the last time we played them on November 5th. They were here at the Garden and we beat them. We gave them a run for their money. They gave us a run for their money, right, in the beginning of the game, but we turned it up in the second half and we showed them who was boss. So now we're going in there with them trying to get some revenge against us after the last time we played them. So yes, on December 23rd, we do play the Minnesota Timberwolves before we come back home for a Christmas Day game at 12 o'clock to play the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Garden. So that should be a fun one. But like I said, the Knicks get a win over the Miami Heat. Jalen Brunson turning up and taking care of business with a 47-point game performance. Your captain doing it big, and yeah, man, you'll love to see it. But with that being said, this is your Knicks on Top post game, Knicks versus Heat on December 21st, 2025. I am your guy, David from Top Bunk Sports. Make sure you guys share this video, subscribe to the Top Bunk Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you guys follow me on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Top Bunk Sports. Make sure you guys show me some love. Shout out to Knicks Nation. Let's go Knicks. I am your guy, David from the Top Bunk Sports, like I said, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.